Empathy. Empathy is a highly effective emotional intelligence competency which is used in effective communication. And defining it in simple terms, what it means is putting yourself in the shoes of the other person, or seeing what the issue is from their frame of reference or from their perspective. And one of the skills of empathy, or how to use it in communication, is active listening. Now, active listening is not about waiting for your turn to speak and talk your mind, like how we say it in the Nigerian parlance. I have to talk my mind, or I won't talk my mind. No, it's not about keeping quiet and waiting for your turn to speak. It is actually about listening or tuning in into the other person and hearing what the issue is, or hearing what the underlying concern, what their need is, what their values are, what their interests are, what their motivations are, what is important to them. Okay, and this is very important because especially if you are in customer care service, if you're a business service provider, a lot of the issues in customer complaints can be resolved when empathy and active listening is actually used in hearing customer complaints before you even begin designing solutions. And 70% of the issues that happen in relationships can be resolved if the parties actually have empathy or take time to listen actively to what the complaints of their partner really is. They can find out what the underlying needs, what the concerns are, and then they can address what those issues are. So in using the skill of active listening, you're going to have to listen for information, to gain information. And one of the ways to do this is by asking the right kind of questions. Like, for example, asking a question such as, why does that seem to be the best solution to you? Can help the other person explain, and you can gain information from their explanation. Or asking something like, how did you arrive at that conclusion? Can help the person also give you the information of how they came to that conclusion concerning whatever complaints they are making or what they are saying. You can also ask questions such as, what outcome are you expecting out of this? What values are important to you? What interest or whose interests are being served here? All of these questions help to uncover what the underlying concerns or what the needs of the other person is. And then you can gain the required information to what the real problem is, instead of defending yourself or waiting for your turn to speak or say your bit about the problem. Okay, so remember, you listen actively to gain information. The second one is listening to give affirmation or to receive affirmation. So this means you're going to have to reflect back what you think you heard from the other person. So if it is really not correct, they can let you know that, no, that's not what I mean. And then they can explain further, and you can gain the right information, or what you can receive the affirmation from them. Or also you can reframe by saying, for example, if someone says, this place is such a mess, you can reframe such a mess by saying something like, oh, I see that you're really concerned about tidiness in the environment. Okay, reframing what you just heard, like, this place is such a mess, can actually, if the person's standard or values for tidiness or cleanliness in an environment, or how stuff should be done in a certain place, if that is their standard, or if that's something that is of value or important to them, you will immediately hear them explain or give you information further or concerning how important cleanliness or tidiness, or how stuff should be done in a certain way is important to them. Okay, so remember, the first one, you listen actively to gain information. Second one is you listen to give affirmation or to receive affirmation. The third one is listening to deal with inflammation, the anger, emotional state of the other person. And now this means that you have to, first of all, acknowledge the emotional state of the person. Saying stuff like, please calm down, or you don't have to be so angry, when a person is in an angry state. It may not be the best phrase for you to say. Telling someone to calm down when they're angry might just even infuriate them even further. Okay, so you want to identify with their state. You want to put yourself in their shoes. Remember what empathy means. Putting yourself in the shoes of the other person, or seeing what the problem is from your frame of reference or from your perspective. And then you can start dealing with the anger by offering an option, or profiling, before even profiling a solution, inviting them to join you in the process of designing a solution that can arrive, at an outcome that satisfies them, and which, both parties can arrive at a win-win. So let me run through this again. Active listening means you're going to have to listen to gain information. You listen to receive affirmation or give affirmation, and then listen to deal with inflammation. The following video in our conference explains my point even further. Means flow or harmonize, key is energy. So if there was pushing me, the natural tendency is for me to resist, right? And what we have is conflict. Now, in using empathy, acknowledging, let's say this push now is the person's anger. So as he's pushing, instead of me trying to explain, push, I move, step to the side and see his issue from his perspective. Thank you very much. I see his issue from his perspective. So first of all, we go like, oh madam, we're so sorry. Okay, you're far from the place, I understand. You're pressed for the time and you have to get back to the office. Right? She said, right. In fact, okay, you know what we can do? I can understand you right now if I were to be in your shoes with the sun and everything. Apologies. What time are you closing? You see, you're not even defending yourself. You have just diffused all of that energy. The person now will return back to themselves. Like, actually, this was my own mistake and I'm shouting on top of it. They're like, alright, goodbye. In fact, okay, you know what? I'll come another